Is it possible to turn the trading indicator on your chart into an automated, profitable trading strategy like this? That's what this video claims to be able to do. So we're going to do a deep dive on this strategy and look into a method that claims to be able to take any trading indicator in TradingView and turn it into an automated trading strategy with ChatGPT. But does it actually work? Let's find out.
In this video, you will learn how to convert an indicator into a strategy using AI. Finally, this is the method that will help millions of people to do that. I found the right AI, the right prompt that you can use to make this happen. And in this video, I'm going to show you all of that. I want you to also see the problems that can happen and how to solve them.
Okay, awesome. So we've got this whole strategy broken down.
Well, this is not financial advice. Crypto is risky. You can lose all of your money, but that is why you subscribe to this channel. You watch the videos that I make because that increases your chances of success, guys, right?
Yeah, and everything in life has risk. Everything, okay? It's not about whether something's risky or not. It's about what's the risk to reward ratio. Is a risk worth it? That's the question.
That's the whole point. We have to be better than other people because it's a player versus player game. Let's get started. First of all, we're going to convert 3 indicators into strategies using OpenAI.
Okay, so we're going to combine 3 different indicators and we're going to turn that into a strategy, okay? So step 1 here is going to be choosing your indicator. And he's going to pick a few in this video, but you can actually pick whatever indicators you want.
And let me show you which OpenAI we're going to use because you have to use the right one. So you have to use ChatGPT 01 Preview. That is the one that gives the best results. And that's why I'm so excited about this method, right? I have had a couple of conversations. As you can see here, we have the bull market support band conversation, super trend, and Bollinger band. And the results that I got, guys, are incredible. Okay, so this is my version of the strategy, right? Producing 736% profit with these other KPIs. And when I turn on the GPT version of that strategy, turning it on now, you can see the exact same results, okay? That is fascinating. The next thing is the super trend strategy, my version, right? With 530% profit and GPT version, 530% profit. Exactly the same.
500% profit. Not bad.
Yes, it's a lot of stuff in the chart, but just to show you that this AI version that we're using here to create strategies produces very good results. And I want to show you how to do it yourself right now. All right, guys, let's start with the bull market support band. This is an indicator that you have seen in my previous video that looks like it's actually quite nice because whenever the lines cross, right, to the upside, there might be a good buy signal. And then when they cross to the downside, it might be a good sell signal. So let's convert this idea into an actual strategy, right? So first of all, bull market support band, let's add it to the chart. Click on indicators, search for bull market support band, and click on this one. You will have it on your chart. It will look the same as mine. Now,
okay, cool. So we got our first indicator. So go into TradingView, right? And pull up, for example, if you want to follow along, that's going to be market support band, Bollinger bands, super trends, all right?
The next thing you need to do is you need to hover with the mouse over this indicator here and click on the source code because you need the code to give it to ChatGPT, right? To convert it into code, into a strategy. So click on that and here you get the code of that indicator. Just copy it, right? Just copy it as it is and go here to the prompt, which is below this video, copy paste the prompt and everything. And in this prompt, you have 3 sections. And before I put the code, let me explain the sections. The first section is basically telling ChatGPT what we want from it. And also we're giving it a good confidence saying, hey, you are a professional PineScript version 5 developer, right? So that it does the right thing for us. The second section is giving it instructions on how to behave in certain situations, which settings to use per default. So I have put this together carefully so that we avoid the common issues. And the third section is the code of the indicator, right? So I'm telling it, hey, this is the code, and here I paste the code, right?
And I'll make sure I link these up in the description for you so you can get these easier. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna extract the indicator code. That's what we just went over, right? So you hover over the chosen indicator, and then you click on the source code just like he showed you, and then you just copy that entire snippet. Okay, so that's the first part. And then you're going to prepare that AI prompt. And you want to use a structured 3-section prompt. So those are the 3 sections that he just mentioned, right? Defining the AI's role, setting the default behavior and preferences, and then where the copied indicator code is posted. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And that's it. You don't have to change anything else. Now copy the whole thing, right? And now go to ChatGPT and open a new chat and make sure you are on the 01 preview version. That's the only one that actually makes sense. And just paste the whole thing and let's give it the first try and see what happens. Now what will happen here is that it is thinking, you see that it's not immediately answering because the 01 preview version is a better version that is actually thinking about its actions before giving a response, which is professional, right? So that has resulted in amazing results for the strategy creation. And after like 40 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that, it gives the first version of the strategy. So usually there are tiny issues in there, but they're very, very easy to fix. I will show you exactly how to do that after we get our first version. All right, after 49 seconds, it gives us the first version. Let's copy the code without even looking at it and let's create the strategy. Back in trading view, right, you see here that you cannot edit this because you need to create a working copy. That's perfect. So click on create a working copy, right? Click on that. You get a new script with no title at all. Just delete everything inside and put the code from ChatGPT here, right? And then click save. Click save again. And let's see what happens. Is there any error? No, no error so far. If there was an error, I would show you how to fix it, but I'm sure it's gonna happen in the next indicator. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to add it to the chart and let's make sure I am not in the way. No, I'm not in the way. That's good. So add to the chart. So now you need to click this button to add this strategy to your chart to start seeing the results. All right. So we have added it to the chart.
683% profit.
And as you can see here, it produces, well, quite good results. Not exactly the same as mine. So mine was, let me open it right now. Mine was 736% profit. While this one is 383% profit. But hey, still not bad. But now I want to create the same result as my strategy. But how can you do it, right? How can you double check if it's actually done the right thing or not? Well, it kind of depends on you as well, because when you look at the indicator, then you have to make sure that these buying and selling arrows, right, that you see here, that they're happening at the same time as when you would buy and sell based on the indicator. So,
and this is why you need to know something about trading in order to make this work, right? So we're using the AI tool. We've got ChatGPT preview, okay? And what he's recommending is 01 preview, okay? And then you're gonna paste the prepared prompt and indicator into the tool and obviously wait for it to process. And then we're gonna integrate that into TradingView by creating a working copy, by clearing any existing script code. So you just copy and paste the new version in there, right? And then you save that strategy, okay? So we've got this step-by-step process. It kind of sounds intimidating, right? But it's actually pretty simple. We're just copying and pasting and clicking a few buttons. So pretty straightforward so far.
Now you have to use your own mind and come up with something that you would be doing as well. Now, as you can see here, there is a cross to the downside, and after the cross, there is a sell signal, should be a sell signal, right? Now, when I turn on the strategy again, we can see that it is selling, but it's a bit later. Let me double check here if that is the case. Yeah, so it should sell here, right? Because this is the cross of the indicator, but it sells way later. So for me, that looks like it's selling when it goes below the line instead of selling when there is a cross. Let's see. Let's go back to the ChatGPT version and let's tell it that we want to buy when there is a cross to the upside of these two EMAs, and then we want to sell when there is a cross to the downside. Let me formulate a sentence and come back to you. Okay, so I'm telling it to buy when EMAs cross to the upside and sell when EMAs cross to the downside. And I don't know if you noticed, but there are these strange staircases that happens because the strategy is actually going to the 1 week chart to get the numbers on the prices and then creates the results on the 1 day chart. Long story, but if you don't do fill gaps, then it will look like that. So I am telling it, and I told it already, by the way, to fill the gaps, but you know, sometimes it doesn't stick to all the rules that I give it. It says here, fill gaps, right? So it didn't do that, so I will tell it to do that now. Okay, so I'm saying also fill gaps to avoid jumps in the lines, So let's click enter and see what happens. Okay, we have a new version. Let's see if that works out. So we have here gaps off. That's not really smart, right? Because yeah, that's the whole point of filling gaps. So they should be on, but okay, like it's not the end of the world. And so let's copy this code and go back to ChatGPT. And by the way, if you want to make sure you're editing the right code of your strategy, then click on these source code brackets and you'll arrive back in your own code. You just delete everything in there.
So now we're in the troubleshooting phase. And obviously, we're going to have to do some tweaking to get this thing right, okay? So if you get these coding errors, what you can do is just work out those trading errors and then wash, rinse, repeat. So if you get the wrong buy or sell signals, now notice he had to look at the chart and see where it was buying and selling. So you need to apply some basic ideas about price action and say, okay, would I actually buy and sell there? And if it's not doing what you want, then you do some basic problem solving. Like for example, it wasn't filling those gaps, right? So you have to tell it to fill the gaps to smooth out the results in this case, okay? But you want to look at your results. And then what's great is that you can ask the same technology, which is ChatGPT, to fix the errors that it created. And that's kind of cool, right? It's creating the errors, and then you just point out the errors and say, hey, fix these errors. And then it gives you new code, which is pretty awesome. And then you just copy and paste that and paste the new strategy in there, okay? So it's just problem solving, finding the errors, getting the new code, pasting it in, and then just doing this like wash, rinse, repeat thing.
Put the new code, click save, and then see what happens. Okay, it didn't fill gaps, but let's see about the profit results. And now it looks like it has the same exact outcome. Yes, it has the same exact outcome as my strategy. So there you go, guys. We have managed to convert an indicator into a strategy, and it does exactly the same as I would do, right? So doesn't get much better than that. Yeah. I hope you learn how to do it. Now, let's go to the next one and do it there as well, because I want to show you as well a situation where there is an error in the code and how to fix that. Okay, guys, the next strategy that we want to create is from the Bollinger Bands.
Validation and optimization was what he was doing before, right? Verifying the signals visually, right? That's what we're saying. You're going to need some basic price action knowledge to be able to say, okay, would I buy and sell here? If you don't know anything about trading and you think that you're going to be able to have something like this work, good luck, okay? You got to have some basic knowledge about price action, right? And then you just compare the back test and you get the results to have the kind of net profit that you want until you're satisfied with that, okay? And then, of course, there's some advanced possibilities. So we're going to look at next, once we do this Bollinger strategy, we'll look at how to combine multiple indicators, okay? So the next one we'll look at here is the super trend with the Bollinger Band. So let's look at that now.
The reason is that simply it's the best one from my previous video. It makes the most profit. So I think it makes sense for you guys to know how to do exactly that one. And so first of all, you have to add the Bollinger Bands to your chart, go to indicators, search for Bollinger Band, and click on the technicals, right? This is the Bollinger Band indicator that you want to add to your chart. Click on that, and then you see exactly the same as I do. We are still on the Bitcoin one-day index chart, guys, right? And now, again, you need to use your brain a little bit to zoom into the chart and understand, okay, when would I buy, right? Because again, it's an indicator. It doesn't have buy and sell signals, right? So when would I buy and when would I sell? And to make it...
So where would you buy here? Right? Where would you buy and where would you sell? If this is the average price, let's assume this blue line is the average indicator that we're going to use, okay? So an easy strategy that you can apply to any average indicator is when there's multiple consecutive closes above that average price. Because if buyers are buying and continue to buy, that's consecutive candles, above the average price, why is the only reason they would do that? Because they think the price is going up. So if they're buying here and they're confidently 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 buying here, they're buying all the way up here, which was significantly higher than down here because they think the price is going even higher than here, okay? So consecutive closes above the average price, that is a signal of bullishness. So that would be indicator one. Now, the second thing I would put here, if I was just eyeballing it to see where I would buy, is I would look for a higher low because a bull trend is higher lows and higher highs. So we've got consecutive closes above the moving average, and then we have a pullback, and then we have a higher low. As soon as we get this candle and this candle, now we have a higher low. And I'll put those two things together. So I would buy somewhere in here, ideally right here. But let's see what he says.
Faster in this video because I already explained it in the previous video. I would buy when the price goes above the upper band, okay, and then stay in the trade for as long as the price goes below the lower band, right? So quite long. and then it would sell here, right? So that would have been a very nice trade, buying here and selling roughly here, making 356% profit. So let's see if that idea leads to a lot of profit in general, because sure, nice that it worked here, but does it produce false signals? Does it have a high drawdown? All of this stuff. Okay, the same as before, we go here with the mouse, we click on the source code. I will make this larger. I will just copy the whole indicator. I will go to our prompt and I will make sure to delete the previous code here and put the new code, right? Copy the whole thing again, go to ChatGPT, open a new chat, make sure you are on the O1 preview and put the whole prompt in there, click enter and get a coffee while it is thinking. Man, it's thinking for a long time. What's happening? Okay, 41 seconds. I don't have any patience, guys. Okay, anyway, so this is nice. Let's see if it works. But for sure, we're gonna have to tell it one more time when to buy, when to sell, because we just told it, hey, convert it to a strategy. And it made up its own mind when to buy, when to sell. You can see here, the long condition has something to do with the date range. That's fine. But also, it has to do with the crossover. But let's see if it does the right thing. Just copy the code, create a working copy, click on this blue text here, right? Just delete what is in there, put the code from GPT, click save again, and now let's hope that there are no coding errors. Okay, no coding errors there, that's nice. And now again, click on add to chart, okay? This one here. Okay, we have it on the chart and well, it doesn't make money, right? It's actually losing money. But that's because most likely it would just do the wrong thing. So we have to tell it when to buy and when to sell. But the first thing that we should be doing is checking if when we turn off the strategy and we turn it on again, if you know the Bollinger bands, they overlap each other, right? So that is the case, which is very nice. That means that it turned the indicator into a strategy. So that's cool. But then it doesn't know when to buy and when to sell properly, right? So it buys here and then it sells like whatever. Okay, we want to do other things. So now I have to formulate a sentence where I tell it that when the close price goes above the upper band, buy, right? And when the close price goes below the lower band, sell, which is definitely not doing right now. You see, it does something totally different, okay? So go back to GPT and let me formulate that sentence and come back to you. Okay. So I'm saying thanks. You always have to say thanks, okay? You get better results like this. Yes, be friendly, guys, right? Even to the AI. You never know when the AI will be in the form of a robot in front of you and you can say, I was always nice to you. Please take care of me, treat me nicely as well. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so
probably good advice.
Thanks, but now change the buy condition to buy when the close price is above the upper band and sell when the close price is below the lower band, right? And so guys, keep in mind that you have to necessarily have some plan, okay? You cannot just hope that there will be the best strategy on the planet coming to you for free, right? You have to think a little bit. So you have to go to the chart, zoom in and think, when would you buy, when would you sell? And just tell it to the GPT, right? And then it will create a strategy. So that's the thing, right? When you create a strategy from an indicator, you have to define when to buy and when to sell exactly, right? Not just an indicator. An indicator always looks great with the eyes, but then when you actually trade it, it's not so good. That's why I'm making these videos, guys, to show you how it's done and how to evaluate this stuff, okay? Okay, 16 seconds, not a lot of time. So it was quite fast. Let's just copy this and hope that it did the right thing. And again, let me click on these source code brackets just to be sure I'm editing the right thing. Delete the whole thing, put the new code, click save, and let's hope we have better results this time. So this time, wow, it looks very nice.
1,187% profit. 41% profitable. So that's, I think, most likely going to be your win rate. And then your profit factor is 2 to 1, which is very good. 1,187% profit, right? So way better. But before we compare with mine, let's just zoom in and see if it did the right thing. So you see, it is buying when, because this closed above. Guys, remember I pointed that out to you, the consecutive candles above the average price. So that's decent.
The line very slightly. So it bought on the next candle, right? So that's nice. And then here you can go and see that it actually sold when the candle closes. So it sells on the next candle, the first second, right? That's why this candle closed below, boom, the next candle is a sell signal, right? And that's, by the way, best practice. You should only act on candle close, because otherwise you get faked into a trade or out of a trade, right? So if we now activate my strategy, which is, let me zoom out to find it, it's here. this one, you can see it's exactly the same net profit, exactly the same drawdown, everything is same. So guys, there you freaking go, guys. We converted two indicators into strategies, got to the same result as before, and we still don't have coding errors. So I'm guessing I have to go to do one more strategy for you as a bonus. We're gonna do the super trend as well next. Let's go. Okay guys, this is the super trend indicator. Click on indicators, search for super trend, and in the technicals click on super trend. Okay, yes, there is a strategy, but the whole point of this video is to show you how to convert any indicator into a strategy. Okay, click on super trend, and then you will see pretty much the same. You see the same as I do, right? So when would you buy and when would you sell? You have to always ask yourself that question.
All right, so let's see, okay? What we have here is a trading range, okay? So we're stuck in a range. You can draw a rectangle box around this area because it's just going sideways, right? Which is going kind of back and forth, reversing back and forth inside this area. I call it price action prison because it's really kind of stuck. And then suddenly we break out of price action prison. We call that a breakout, right? Breaking out of jail. And that's when you start to get consecutive closes to the upside. So this is a strong breakout. So my buy signal would be somewhere after here, maybe here, okay? So there's your trend because the trend starts right here. So let's see what he says. Oh, and then where would we sell? Well, look, if we're breaking out and we're trending, and this is a very strong trend, you've got the first major pullback here, which is the break of the trend line. Now, remember the rule I'm always sharing with you, never trade against a strong trend until you get one, a break of the trend line, and two, a retest of that extreme high. So when you get this first major pullback, these are like little teeny tiny pullbacks, right? Because you've got like 1 bar pullback, you've got a doji and then a 1 bar pullback. So there's no major pullbacks in here. This is the first pullback that's got any decent size. And if we were to draw a line connecting the lows here as they're getting higher, the trend line would be right along here. So this is the first real break of the trend line, okay? I would not consider exiting this trade until after we get up here, because then we have a break of the trend line, that's this one, and then we have a retest of that extreme high, which would be here. So now we're up here and we have that retest, but then look at what happened. The price came back down again to test, and these pullbacks didn't even get below this pullback, okay? So there's really no reason to sell, even all through this and even all through this. So I'd say like selling would be like around here and buying would be around here, but let's see what he says.
Before trading the strategy. So I want to buy when it's green and I want to sell when it's red, okay? Like very simple, right? And so I don't know yet how to tell it to GPT. We'll figure this out, but that's what I would do here, right? So yeah, there will be a lot of fake trades as you can see here. So buying here, selling here. So here you lose money, right? Here you almost like you lose a little bit of money here, right? So you will see, guys. So first of all, like always, we go to the source code and we copy the whole source code and we go to our prompt. We delete the previous code that we had. We put the new code. We copy the whole prompt and we start a new conversation in GPT. Make sure again, O1 preview, not anyone else, any other version, it wouldn't work. Okay, click enter and let's wait for the first result. Of course, like I said, we have to still tell it when to buy and when to sell, but let's see, maybe it does it correctly in the first try. Okay, after 43 seconds, we get our first version and let's see how that performs on the chart. Copy the code, right? And go here, click on create working copy, delete everything, put the new code, click save again, and no coding. Oh, coding errors. Perfect. Because, well, we wanted to have this issue, right? So that I can show you how to fix it. So you just copy this error, right? You copy this error, right? And you make sure to tell it that it's in line 26. Okay. So let's go back and say in line 26, we have this error, right? Put it there, click enter, and now it will fix it. Hopefully. Let's see.
So cool, right? You just tell it what number the error is on, what number line the error is on, and it'll tell you how to fix it.
What I've also seen often is that when I start a chat and it goes in the wrong direction and I can't make it work, then it's simply better to just start a completely new chat from the scratch, the same prompt, okay? And then it will result into something useful. That's crazy, but that's what it is, right? So sometimes it just goes the wrong direction and it will never come back to do the right thing. But hey, that's fine. Again, it's very easy to do that, right? So when you do this, right, a couple of times, you get errors, you never get out of the errors, then just start a new chat. Okay, so I have a new code, I put it here, save, seems to work, great. Click on add to chart, right? As always, we're gonna get a back test. And the back test, yeah, it's pretty bad, but let's first see if the indicator, right, the coloring is correct, okay? So you always have to do that, right? So, by the way, let's close this and just close and open the indicator and see if they have done, if the basically GPT has found the right trend and is doing the right thing. As you can see, it's a bit funny because it's actually buying when the trend is red and it's selling when the trend is green. So, well, that's stupid, right? It has to do exactly the opposite. So I go back to ChatGPT and I'm telling it to switch around the buying and selling. As you can see, the sentence is, okay, but now buy when the trend is green and sell when the trend is red. Exactly the opposite of what you were doing. And let's see what happens. Okay guys, after 31 seconds, we have a new code. Let's copy it here and let's make sure we're editing the right indicator, the right strategy actually. Click on this and let's copy, well, not copy, but delete everything. Put the new code, click save, and let's see if now it is doing the right thing. Let's see the strategy tester. So now it makes money. So that's already way better than before, right? And let's zoom in and see if it does the right thing when we look with our own eyes, right? So it's green, it's buying, it's red, it's selling, green is buying, red is selling. Yeah, looks great, right? So let's look at the result again. We have a drawdown of 47. You know all of that from the previous video, but let's also check if it has the same profit as my version, right? Okay, so that was the super trend strategy. This is my super trend strategy. As you can see, the results are exactly the same, guys.
A quick recap, right? You've got your step-by-step process. So here it is. You choose the indicator, you extract the indicator code, you prepare the AI prompt, you use ChatGPT, this is your AI tool, okay? And then you follow this process here, and then you integrate that into TradingView, okay? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. And then of course, you might have to do some troubleshooting, which is fine. So you've got those coding errors. You just use the same tool that's creating the code to fix the code by telling it what line the error is on, and then it fixes it for you, which is pretty awesome. And then you've got your validation and your optimization, and you have to just look at the chart and see, okay, where would I want to buy, where would I want to sell, and you compare the backtest results until you get it to how you want it. And then those advanced possibilities, and this is where I think the real magic starts to happen, is when you merge different indicators, right? So you can basically combine these different indicators to get the most optimal result. Now, what are the real benefits of doing this, and why was I interested in making a video on this for you guys in the first place? Because of these benefits. Here are the real benefits from automating your trading strategy. 1, make smarter data-backed decisions through this process. 2, increase profitability by utilizing developed strategies. Instead of guessing or instead of having your human error intervene, you use technology to automate it, which makes it a lot more reliable. And then you can break free from emotional trading habits. And that's the benefit that I think is absolutely the best, because it's the emotions that really wreck your profits more so than your strategy. And then the final benefit here that I could see is saving time and automating your strategies for efficiency. You can go do other stuff while your bot is trading your trades, right? You can just hang out or do whatever you want. So, you know, I'm here to make these videos I review for you 10 times more valuable, so that you are 10 times more likely to take something from these videos and apply them into your trading results to get some of this. So, I am here for a challenge, and here we have your Trades by Bren 3-step action plan and your trading challenge. So here it is. Pick one indicator that you use regularly, whichever one it is. Identify clear entry and exit signals. Assess the logic. Figure out what that logic is. You have to be able to explain it simply, okay? And then use ChatGPT to create and test that strategy based on your findings, okay? So there are your 3 steps. And here's the Trades by Bren trading challenge, okay? Trades by Bren trading challenge for today is, number 1, post your results in the Trades by Bren community tab to share your outcomes. Just click on this channel and click on posts or community and leave it there. You can also leave it in the comments, and then share your insights. If you find some insights, share them with our community, because I'm here to grow this community. So this is not about me, this is about us. And if you are here, I want you to join our family so we can all grow together. Because trading, no one has it figured out. There's not one person that has mastered every aspect of the market. So that means if we all come together and collaborate, we can actually maximize our chances of having the biggest, most incredible outcomes possible, okay? If you're curious about my strategy and you want to know more about how I trade, you can go to tradesbybren.com and you can get a downloadable PDF that includes my 3 favorite trades, and I'll give them to you for free, where I share the 3 patterns that I look for, how I limit my risk to set my stop loss, and how I take my profits so I can get out before it's too late. Tradesbybren.com. And if you're curious about the tools that I use to trade, I have them linked up in the description as well. The prop firm I trade with, as well as the charting software, which you saw in this video, which is TradingView. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want more. And next up, I recommend you watch this video on your screen right now. Click or tap on the screen to watch that, and I'll see you there.